Hi, Brazil. This is Fantastic Negrito, and you are listening to 89 FM Radio Rock.
Fala galera, beleza? Eu sou o Wendell Correia e eu conversei com um músico sensacional chamado Fantastic Negrito. Ele já veio na Rádio Rock, inclusive ano passado quando ele se apresentou em São Paulo. Deu uma passada ali no do Balacobaco, deu uma entrevista pra Luca no Sofá 89 e você pode conferir essa entrevista aqui no YouTube da Rádio Rock. Tá sensacional, ele conta a história de vida dele, muito legal essa entrevista com a Luca. E ele tem 2 álbuns já que ganhou o Grammy, lançou o terceiro agora chamado Have You Lost Your Mind Yet? Que já tá bombando, tá em primeiro lugar da Billboard dos lançamentos de jazz and blues. Nessa entrevista ele fala bastante desse novo álbum, a gente tá com a música How Long tocando direto aí na programação da Rádio Rock. Ele falou muitas coisas legais do álbum, né? A ideia dele de ser músico, que ele quer ser um músico verdadeiro, que acha legal inclusive ganhar esses prêmios, mas o foco dele é passar mensagem positiva com a música dele, bem legal, as músicas e a história de vida do Fantastic Negrito. Falou da amizade dele com o Chris Cornell, né? O Chris Cornell chamou ele para apresentar, né? Começar a fazer a introdução ali dos shows do Chris Cornell, fazer a abertura, né? Bem legal contar essa história aí com mais detalhes dele com o Chris Cornell. Você confere essa entrevista exclusiva aqui na Rádio Rock.
Hey, what's happening, people?
Hello.
Hello, Brazil.
Hi, how are you, man?
I'm doing good, man. Better than some, not as good as others.
This is the best answer when someone asks you, how are you, man? I really enjoy when you say that.
Yeah, better than some, not as good. It's a good place to be because, you know, you're right there in the middle.
Yeah. So you already speak to our radio before. You were there last year when you came to São Paulo. Don't know.
Oh, yeah, I came there, yeah.
Yeah.
Sao Paulo, what a great place.
Yeah. And I want to start asking, what do you remember from Brazil? Good memories from here?
My first memory is, what's my first memory there? Tall building. I went to, it's pretty modern. Like people had always said, wow, Brazil, it's so poor, it's so poor. But I guess I didn't go to that part of the country. So I was surprised, like, oh, doesn't look so poor, but that's because I wasn't in those places, I'm sure. But that was my first impression. My second impression was how great the food was. And then my third one was that I was like, wow, this is a pretty black country. You know, being a black person, like really black mixed country, I was like, wow, this is pretty. So those are like my 3 things I can think of, like Brazil.
Yeah.
I was surprised I didn't see so much poverty. The food was outstanding and it was very black.
Yeah. Talking about the poor, you have both sides in São Paulo. Probably you walking on the rich,
Yeah,
places.
that's where I was walking.
Yeah.
And next time I'd like to get to the other places because, you know, that's where I'm from.
Yeah, man, and they are very friendly people. Of course, we have violence, unfortunately, but almost all of them is very friendly people. It's really nice.
Hey, let me tell you, man, just like the neighborhoods I grew up in, it was violence, but there was also beauty. There's also wealth, rich personalities, music. Where do we think all this great music came from in America? Yeah. It came from the neighborhoods I came from. You know, funk, rock, soul, rhythm, blues, hip hop, jazz. So, you know, beautiful things happen in these places.
Yeah, man. And do you remember what have you eaten here in Brazil?
What was I eating in Brazil? I was eating, I don't think I can remember the names of stuff, but I had some great fish. Remember, some fish was great. I had great chicken dishes. It was pretty amazing. Really delicious food. It's beans. Sometimes they have beans mixed in. So good. Just the flavor, the ingredients. But I can't tell you the name of it.
Yeah, that's okay, man.
I don't know the name.
And how have you been passing during this quarantine and lockdown? How are you, man?
Well, I've been, you know, like, have you lost your mind yet? That's how I've been. I put together a record. Back in March, I did a crowdsource all around the world, video of people from all over for Chocolate Samurai. I just been staying active, you know, because I feel like whatever's there, that's what we got to do. I'm not sitting around going, oh, I want to go on tour. Oh my God, no, we can't go on tour. So we got to do other things. So you get online, engage with your fans, your supporters. I got a lot of music to put out. I put out think my third music video. How Long, I made that video, Chocolate Samurai, and now I'm searching for Captain Save-A-Ho yesterday. So just staying like really active, man, you know?
You have a great phrase also. I really enjoyed when you talk about this phrase you have. I was watching some interviews of you and you say, I work with the tools that I have. This is perfect, man.
Yeah. Hey, I learned that from my grandmother.
This is something,
my grandmother used to say it.
Since I watch you saying that, I'm using that for my life too.
Well, I'm happy, brother. That's great because it's so important.
Yeah.
It's so, if we practice more gratitude, then we are happier.
Yeah.
It's just a better way of living. And you know, it's something really great. I've had my guitar that I wrote In the Pines on, you know, I did a rendition of In the Pines. That guitar has been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And it's on an exhibit called, It's All Been Said Before, Voices of Rage. And it's me, Public Enemy, Fantastic Negrito, Tommy Morello, NWA, James Brown, Jimi Hendrix, Jimmy Cliff. So that's been, you know, like stuff like that's been keeping me feeling great. Cause I'm like, wow, you know, I wrote that song to really contribute something to the community I was from. And it was great. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you know, they took my guitar. I love that guitar, but they're going to keep it for about a year. So that's been something to rally around, something to feel good about.
And how do you feel when you achieve these things like this? And you are together as some great musicians, man. How do you feel, oh, man? Is that happening?
Well, I feel like, you know what, I you know, I belong there. I'll be honest, because I feel like my music is visceral. It's, I feel like it's timeless. I'm telling the truth, you know, and I think I could put my music out 25 years ago, or I could put it out 25 years from now. It still would relate to people because I'm not really trying to fit into a genre. You know, I'm not a pop star. I'm not a hip hop artist. You know what I mean? I'm a guy just doing like this Black roots music. And I think that is very important. It's like Marvin Gaye wrote What's Going On 25 years ago. Hey, 25 years ago or 50 years ago, we still say, what's going on? Same thing. So I feel good about that I'm able to contribute.
Yeah. And I really agree with you. I was going to say that you think you are a true musician, you know? You won Grammys, you won this kind of things, but I don't believe you do music for that, because when I listen to your music and everybody that I show your music say, oh, this is a true musician. He don't care about the views he had on YouTube. Of course you are happy if you have 1 million views.
Yeah, of course, man.
You don't care for it. And your life history, man, you were born to be a musician, man.
I think so. I was born to be an artist. Definitely, you know, I love being an artist. And yeah, I just don't believe in that stuff. Because that's not my value system. When I was writing Have You Lost Your Mind Yet, I was really writing about this very idea that that's your value system. Like how many likes? Hey, people hit my inbox all the time. Like, hey, do you want to buy followers? You want to buy likes? When I'm like, no, I don't want to buy that shit. And I don't need it because in the end, I just want to be able to face the people. The people are my record company. I got to be able to walk down the street and feel good with the people, man, because they put me there. When I was starting out with Fantastic Negrito like 6 years ago, people were like, no way. They're like, you're a middle-aged guy. Your music is genre non-specific. All these things that the power structure tells us, like you can't do it because of this, because of that. But when I played on the street, the people really made it okay for me. So I just answered to the people, man, and I ride them all the way. You know, hey, Have You Lost Your Mind? It just had that's my first #1 album, #1 on Billboard Blues. That's because people supported me. You know, I don't think the machine doesn't really support me. People do. So for that, I'm very, very grateful, and I'm gonna keep doing music that way.
And you had 2 great albums, even won a Grammy with that albums. This Have You Lost Your Mind? Yeah, it's going really well, as you say, it's on the Billboard first one. And how do you feel about that? And how was the process of writing and recording this album for you?
Well, it was the hardest album I've written out of all three because it was very micro, not macro. It was very personal, and I was writing about like mental health and my friends and my family. Like, how are we dealing in this world of likes, in this world of, you go online and there's so much propaganda that's trying to inform you, you know, how you should speak, you know, how you should think, you know, what slogan you should say. What's the slogan? Who do you scream that at? What's your position? So I think that there's so much of that that you can, it's almost insane. And like news is almost like, is it really news? It's like one side is like all the way right wing and it's telling you all these things, you know, that are crazy, xenophobic, kind of racist, like really nationalist. And then you have this other side that's like, everything is like blame, 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 blame. And there's really no conversation going on. It's more like everything's extremely polarized. And so when I was writing, Have You Lost Your Mind Yet? I was writing it about, like, how do we deal with all this every day? And it's coming at us. Police brutality, racism, injustice, blame culture, political correctness. I mean, after a while, it's like you can't take anymore. And you just want to live, think, breathe, and feel like a human being and find some balance.
And did you write the songs on your own house? What was the process of writing the songs? How much?
Writing.
Many months do you spend?
Oh, it was quick. I don't know. Like, I think writing, I just was like spying on my friends and like analyzing them, because each song is about a particular friend of mine. And I was just like, look, you know, how are they dealing with all these things I'm talking about? And what are the choices that they're making? Why are they making these choices? And are we really, is he healthy mentally? Is this healthy to do the things this person is doing? So it made a very interesting record. And it didn't take long, maybe 3 months. You know, I sketched it out, went into the studio, got me a Hammond B3 organ, a lot of that on this record. I got my guitars. The thing that was different is that I usually send the music out and then my bass player plays on it, guitar player plays on it. But this time everybody flew to the studio and we recorded right there, because I was trying to get that energy, that manic energy, that sense of urgency on the record. And it felt like a really upbeat record. I was in a funkier mood. It was funkier than my other stuff. It just was, I was like, you know, heavy influence like Stevie Wonder, Queen, like Sly, like, yeah, I was really in that kind of mode, you know. And so I kind of channeled that and just tried to keep everybody out of the room and make the best record that I can make. That's what's important to me. I make my music in a very small room.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Do you write on your acoustic guitar? Where do you write songs?
It's very organic. I write sometimes just something, you say a word and I'm like, oh my God, man.
You've got to do a music.
And then it turned to music. Or sometimes it's just, I saw my cousin, you know, she's walking down the street. She's been like a dope fiend for like 30 years, man. I just saw her walking, like the way she's moving. And then I thought of the song King Frustration. I went right to the studio and I wrote King Frustration. So a lot of times it's just, I'm so happy I cry. That was this kid Juice WRLD. He had died, a famous rapper. And I'm like, wow, I'm so happy I cry. I tried to put that together, like people that have everything, but then they medicate. And, but then we live in, you know, Western culture where it's supposed to be so advanced and we have all the amenities, but we probably self-medicate more than anyone on the planet. And so, yeah, that stuff triggers. A lot of this album, I played the bass first. You know, I have this cheap $89 bass that I bought online. Looks like an old Paul McCartney bass. And I was writing so many bass lines. I'm sure I drove the bass player crazy because I'm like, no, you got to play it like this. And I got those flat strings, those round flat bass strings. And I set the bass up like Jamerson, Motown kind of stuff. And it was really fun. I had a great time with the music. The music, I was more free, more solos, more guitar solos. How Long, that song, I actually came up with that idea when I was in Australia. I was doing Byron Bay Blues, and I was just started coming into existence in my mind. And then I wanted to write about, like, the topic had to be about, like, why do people in America, we are watching these shooters every day? Shooter. Hey, guess what happened? You know, we're sipping our coffee. What happened? Someone killed 12 people. Oh, okay. Hey, did the Lakers win basketball? Okay, yeah. Oh, you know, this black people would just, police just shot him. Oh, really? Okay, yeah. Please pass the eggs. Nice. Oh, this bacon's great. And it's very casual. It's very sick. And then even for the person, like, doing the shooting, I was trying to become them. And I was trying to think about what motivates someone to get to this level. And then how do we sustain ourselves? Well, how do we lose our humanity in some ways, and especially in America, where it just happens all the time. So it makes, and I probably wrote that on the guitar in a hotel in Australia. And then I get everything together and I do about 40 songs, and most of them are bad. And I pick the best 9 or 10 or 11 that aren't bad.
Yeah, you make me remember a teacher I had when I was younger, that he said, when we get used to people sleeping on the streets, when it's normal for us. And,
wow.
And I was young, I think I was 14, and it make me think, oh man.
I like that, man. There you go. I need that right now. I mean, because I'm thinking about the same thing. So if you're all the way in Brazil and you're thinking it and I'm thinking it, then we have something.
Yeah.
That's how I think about music, like all these things, like they're not really unique. Like I have a crazy story. You read my story, it's crazy, but there's a part of it that can really relate to everyone. Struggle, perseverance. You see my hand, I lose my hand, you know, in a coma, but I can barely move it, but I kept on going. So it's like you say these words, and I'm thinking that in Oakland, hey, now we have the same problem.
Okay.
You know what? More billionaires, more homeless people. That's very simple. When I was growing up, there weren't so many billionaires. Now we like, oh, a billionaire. Oh, that's great. Now I look at the tennis courts kids used to play on, it's people living there.
Yeah, unfortunately, man. And this is great about your music, man, because I'm younger than you. I have totally different story life than you, but I connect with your music. It's what you're talking about. So I know what he's saying on the lyrics.
That's great. That makes me feel good because I kind of write my music for my kids, man. In my mind, whenever I'm finished, I go, "Well, how my kid will he can use this?" That's my goal. It's like giving back, writing for my kids. So it makes me happy, and that's why I don't care about Grammys and awards. It's great to win it, but I got to make the album that's the truth, because the truth was the truth 1,000 years ago. It was the truth last week, and it's the truth today. And I became an artist to write about the truth, man. If I wanted to, you know, just placate and just write platitudes, I would have, you know, worked at Starbucks. But the freedom of being an artist is truly a gift. And I'm an honor amongst human beings to be able to contribute music to people's lives.
And I want to talk to you about the song Searching for a Captain Sempre a Hole. You did it with E40. How was the process of this song, man? And having E40 as feature on the song.
Oh, man, E40 is like, I've just always been a fan because I really feel like he embodies the Bay Area where we live. He's in Vallejo, I'm in Oakland, but it's all the Bay Area. And he really embodies like what an artist from this area is, like unique, outstanding. People kind of scratching their head. They don't know, is this okay? Yeah, it's okay. He's different. And so he had that song, Captain Save-A-Ho, like 25 years ago. And I told him, why don't we get Captain Save-A-Ho now? he's grown up, and now he's trying to help men like us. Like, we can go around the world, like, look, I got women, I got this, and people like, oh man, you're a player, you're the man. Oh, but if a woman does it, we're like, oh, she's a whore. She's that bitch. Oh my God. So I really wanted to face myself, double standards, just as a dude, like, you know, I think it's really healthy to shine the light on yourself. And so a lot of that is me. So it was great. He thought it was a great idea. Now, I love his verse. And I was glad to bring that element, like a little bit of hip hop, into the record, because my music, Black Roots music, man, you know, I do blues, funk, soul, rock, you know, whatever, hip hop. I don't care if it's great. I love it. And the unique thing about this album, like, I looked on Spotify, I'm in 4 different categories and playlists. I'm on the hip hop playlist, I'm on the rock playlist, I'm on the blues playlist, I'm on the Roots Americana playlist, and that makes me very proud, because that was like the vision of why I wanted to be an artist, have no boundaries.
I think you have, when someone say, oh, listen to this guy, I'm going to interview him. What is he? Is he rock? Is he rap? I don't know. It's Fantastic Negrito. You've got to listen to it. I really don't know how to describe.
I think it's good. That's what I want to be. The video for Captain Savo is out yesterday. I went on YouTube, I looked at the comments. The best comment was like, man, I've never heard anything like this. I mean, it's kind of like Black Sabbath, but then it's like George Funkadelic, and then it's like, you know, a little bit of the White Stripes. Like, it's just like, I don't know. And I'm like, good. Prince, like, everybody's in there. I'm sitting outside with a shotgun by the door. Like, I got all that, the falsetto, and I think it's, then E40's in there. And I'm like, when I listen to a record and I'm going crazy, that's what I want to feel like. You know, purists, they're going to hate me. I already know.
I think,
they're like, why aren't you?
People that love music is gonna love your music, man, because it's all the good stuff on there, you know.
Yeah, that's what I steal from the best. No.
And I want to talk about the first track, Chocolate Samurai. It's a really good song too. How was this song when you writing this song? Can you tell for us about?
Well, this song is the first song that I kind of wrote for the album, and it was you know, it's very, you know, the riff is very Stevie Wonderish, and I was just in that. I was feeling down one morning. I woke up and I just told myself, you know what, it's okay to feel down. Like, just like the title of the record, I was like, you know what? It's okay to lose your mind. That's part of the human, you know, spectrum. It's like, we can be a little down. It's okay. You don't have to do Xanax. You don't have to go pilker. It's normal. Like, we have to normalize it. You can be down. You can feel low. You can feel bad. But then you got somewhere to go. And you can feel better. So I put on Stevie Wonder, and it's like, wow, he makes me really happy. So I wanted to do something like that, but that felt like kind of rock and like kind of funk and like kind of moving and happy and celebrating. And it was like kind of like the theme of the album, like, you know, my people, my teachers, my sisters, my brothers, like everybody in the world, break down these barriers. Let's get free tonight. Break down the barriers of race, of oppression, of sexism, all these negative things, classism. Break that shit down. It's all one world party. The best party is the one that all the beautiful people are invited to. And I mean the beautiful people by the people with love in their hearts. I don't mean supermodels. You know, I don't mean people who are like perfect. Those are some of the most boring people to me, are these perfect people. So, you know, my tribe, rise, you know, Negrito Nation, celebrate. Yeah, we're the people that you didn't pick to be on the team. We're the people that you said we couldn't do it. We're the people you say, we're not tall enough. We're not black enough. Well, you're not white enough. Well, your hair is not good enough. Well, your body's not good enough. I'm like, this is my tribe. These are my people. And that song, it came from that, we're going to do it. Hey, pandemic, whatever, we're going to win this thing, baby. And I'm always optimistic. That's just my nature. And that's what that song was all about. Let your mind, body, and your soul feel it tonight.
Yeah, it's my favorite one from the album. Yeah.
Oh, right on. Yeah.
And I want to talk about...
And that piano solo,
yeah.
The piano solo that's LJ Holloman. Man, that guy's played on all my records, but he's also played on like Eminem stuff, Dr. Dre, The Game, all those albums. He's this amazing local keyboardist. and I've done a lot of work with him. And this album, I'm like, man, I'm just gonna let you play, brother. And he's just such an expressive piano player.
Yeah, man, beautiful solos all over the album, and you have a really good.
I know, right? Yeah. I let those guys go. I let them go. I'm like, go, man, go. Because I have this one guitar. It's like a 1960s harmony, old harmony guitar, man. It was all broken up like me. It was on the floor at a guitar store, and the guy was like, you can have it. I took it, I put it back together like me, like my hand, all this. Put everything back together, and we did all the slide solos on that guitar, and it just sounds so unique. And yeah, I love the different guitars. I used a Chapman semi-hollow body. This is for all the guitar nerds. Anyway, yeah, really good stuff on the record. Gibson, hollow body, Les Paul, beautiful.
And I want to talk to you about, you made a beautiful song for Chris Cornell, Dark Windows. And
oh yeah.
What did you learn as a fan of him? Because he was a rock star, and I've never met him only, but I'm a big fan. And when I listen to his music, I feel connect with him the same way I feel connected you. He's a true musician. He's really talking about the lyrics. What did you learn from him?
He's a real artist. I mean, it's funny, earlier I was watching and listening to Outshined. I just love Outshined. There's such a bluesing, driving force behind that song, and I really started to like that song more when we were on tour, and Chris would just do it by himself on the guitar. I was like, unbelievable. First of all, the story of Chris Cornell is funny, because he, I heard like, I guess my agent was like, this guy's looking for an opening act, this artist, Chris Cornell. I just like, okay, all these people, great artists, but they're never gonna, I'm like a whole nother planet. So then a month later he goes, hey, Chris Cornell loves you. I'm like, what? Then they're like, oh, great, he wants you to open for him. Then, honestly, I was a little bit scared, like, oh, shit. I'm like, Chris Cornell, because his fans are so hardcore and dedicated, they're gonna look at me like some crazy dude. Who's this crazy black dude opening up, And then when I met Chris, he was so excited, man. Like, oh, man, I just love your stuff. I was like, oh, God, I'm thinking he's crazy. He doesn't know it's going to be a disaster. I was in Oslo, Norway, backstage. And so I get out there, and like Chris is by the curtain, just like somebody's like my big brother, like, go, man, come on. You can do it. Like, I had the hat on. I was like, oh, man, I don't want to look up. Just playing, because I wasn't used to sitting down playing for all these Norwegians. They're so quiet, like, and you're playing, it's scary. So that's the main thing I learned from him, like, how to sit there and be comfortable to play for these couple thousand people sitting down. That's something you got to learn. So I learned that, and then just the humility. I mean, I didn't just play one tour with him. I did 3 tours, which was crazy. Like, I felt like we were just kind of meant to meet. And he told me, he said, I'm going to help you. I'm going to introduce you to the whole world. He looked at me and he said that. He said, because you deserve it. I was like, okay. And he did it. I mean, he was really took me on my first world tour. So I learned, about humility. And he would come to the dressing room, knock, hey, man, are you okay? And I was like, wow. And it's this big superstar, and always checking on me. It just was like a big brother. And when I won the first Grammy, man, no one was happier. No one was happy. He was like, man, sometimes they get it right, bro. Like, so I told these motherfuckers. He was like, I told them. It's like, I told them you were great. And it's like, they finally listened. He was really, really happy about that. And he impacted my life in a huge way. And I think of him, almost daily. And sometimes he's writing. I feel like on Please Don't Be Dead, he was right in the studio with me. And when I sang Plastic Hamburgers, I was like, sing it like Chris Cornell. And it's emotional. It's beautiful.
Yeah, man. He was a true man. I really miss him. I was on the tribute he did for him on the Los Angeles last year. It was a really nice
people
tribute,
asked
man.
me to do it, and I just didn't. I couldn't do it. I was like,
do it.
man, I'm so scared to sing a Chris Cornell song. That's how I feel about a lot of that stuff. It's like people like, do this cover, it's terrifying. Following some, I mean, I just, I'm an artist, and I hear where the way he brings the songs, I'm like, I don't think I could do it. And that's why I don't do it. It's not like I don't want to do it. It's just like he's so good at what he did. And I don't really do covers. It's rare that I do covers because I'm terrified to do them. I did In the Pines because everybody else did it. I was like, everybody else did it. Okay, I can do it, you know. And but I just did a cover. I wish I could tell you what it is. I just did one. I can't say it. That's it's gonna be like, oh, yeah. It's interesting. They got to be really interesting. And like, how do you do a cover of Chris Cornell? Like, I never really heard anybody. I didn't hear anybody do a great cover of his. I don't think it. You know, it's hard.
Yeah, maybe when it's totally different, like Johnny Cash did, but it's another song.
Johnny Cash. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And maybe yeah, if he could do it like Johnny Cash, but that's Johnny Cash. Come on. Yeah, I'm scared of him too. I'm scared of all those guys.
Fantastic.
And it's a good thing. It's a good thing to be scared of them. I think it's good for you to be.
Yeah.
I take their artistry very, very serious. You know, Black Hole Sun, Outshine, Fell on Black Days. I mean, come on. These are some of the greatest songs ever written.
Perfect, fantastic. Thank you so much for your time. I wish I had more time to talk with you, man.
No, it was great, man. Thanks. It was a great interview. And obrigado, man. We'll see you guys. When I see you, hey, when they say Brazil, I'm going to be there. It's going to be emotional.
Yeah, definitely it's going to be. Thank you so much.
I'm gonna do the greatest concert ever when I get back there. So
yeah.
Peace, brother.
I'll be there this time.
All right, man.
Thank
Later.
you so much, man.
All right. Take care.
You too.
Be safe.
Thank you.
89, a Rádio Rock.